There's been many great tag teams in wrestling history and the modern day. The likes of the Road Warriors, the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, the Young Bucks, Dudley Boys, the Lucha Brothers to name a few. But what about those teams made by just throwing together two single stars? But they actually turn out amazing. I'm Reese from the Wrestling Hideout, and this is 10 times random single stars were put together and made a great team. Number 1, Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri. A team created by sad circumstances. Going into Judgment Day 2003, Eddie and Chavo were due to be in a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Unfortunately, just 5 days before the event, Chavo tore his bicep. But with the ladder match being advertised, the show must go on. And who best to step in but Tajiri? And what an incredible few weeks they had, teamed together with matches including the world's greatest tag team and the Bashams, as well as some really amazing backstage skits. The team only lasted 6 matches before they lost the titles. Eddie turned on poor Tajiri with a post-match beatdown, ending a really fun team early in its tracks. Number 2, America's Most Wanted. Chris Harris and James Storm were a staple of early TNA and well into the Spike era. But the foundations of the team aren't as simple as you'd think. Originally, Storm and Harris were wrestling rivals on the independent scene when Jeff Jarrett found them for TNA and had brought them in to be a storyline backup team to face the Rainbow Express. From then on, they went on to be one of TNA's most popular and reliable tag teams, earning their first of 6 NWA tag team titles just 3 months after their debut as a team. Joined by wrestling legend Gail Kim, the team went on to create some of TNA's greatest matches and moments against the likes of Triple X, Team 3D, and LAX, to name a few, before eventually splitting up 5 years later, leading to a blindfold cage match that you can now audibly sigh about. Number 3, Kane and Rob Van Dam. So around the time of the first ever Elimination Chamber, which would feature both these men, Kane and RVD would form a very mixed matched but fun tag team, with their first match together being against Chris Jericho and Christian in the opening match of Raw, November the 11th, 2002, for the World Tag Team titles. The team would feud with Evolution, with Shawn Michaels self-inserted in places, until February 2003, where they would fully settle into the tag team division, losing their initial title matches against Lance Storm and William Regal. The team would finally pick up their only tag team title reign, defeating Storm and Chief Morley, as well as the Dudley Boys in an elimination match at the end of March 2003. Their title run would only last until June, where at Bad Blood they would lose the titles to La Resistance, and then just 8 days later would see the end of the team, when Kane lost his mask to Triple H and turned on RVD in the process. This then led to a feud that lasted through the summer and is definitely worth checking out. Number 4, Rey Mysterio and Edge. In October 2002, Stephanie McMahon, the general manager of SmackDown at the time, announced a tournament for the new SmackDown Tag Team titles.
Got your attention?
Featuring the likes of Los Guerreros, Brock Lesnar and Tajiri, and Billy and Chuck. Edge and Rey Mysterio were teamed together, defeating Lesnar, Tajiri in round 1, and then Devon and Ron Simmons in round 2, before losing the finals of the tournament at No Mercy 2002 to Angle and Benoit in what is a 22-minute tag team masterclass. Seriously, go and watch this or rewatch it, whatever you have to do. It's phenomenal. The team stuck together and picked up their only tag team title reign in a 2 out of 3 falls match against the champions Angle and Benoit 2.5 weeks later in another amazing match. Now, their reign only lasted 10 days. They sadly lost the belts at Survivor Series 2002 in a triple team tag team match to Los Guerreros, which also featured Angle and Benoit. A match that featured every member of the highly praised SmackDown 6. It's the perfect match to show why these 6 men were so core to the success of SmackDown and why they were handpicked by Paul Heyman. The team only had one match after this, so sadly a very short run, leaving everyone wanting more. Number 5. Rated RKO. During John Cena's dominance of Monday Night Raw and the reformation of DX, Edge and Randy Orton, two men constantly in the main event scene of Monday Night Raw, teamed up to rival with DX, believing that DX was the reason they weren't on top of the red brand. Officially forming together as Rated RKO alongside Lita in the very early stages before she retired, Edge and Orton feuded with some form of DX from October 2006 to February 2007. Attacking Ric Flair, and Cena was often inserted in their matches in 6-man tags involving DX. All this led to a title victory in November when they defeated Flair and Piper, which sounds like a fever dream, and then a successful title defense at New Year's Revolution in a match against Triple H and Shawn Michaels that sadly saw the game tear his quadriceps. The team continued the feud with Michaels, where they lost titles to the makeshift team of Michaels and Cena in January on the road to WrestleMania. And this began the tensions, and then officially the team broke up when Edge joined the SmackDown brand in May, ending one hell of a tag team after just 6 months. Number 6. Beer Money. With the end of America's Most Wanted and Team Canada, both Bobby Roode and James Storm were paired together in the tail end of 2008 in a feud against LAX. The result of this pairing would lead to one of TNA's most decorated tag teams and amazing feuds. Over the course of their tenure, Beer Money held the belts 5 times, the most jointly with the Wolves, with James Storm having the record of being a 7-time TNA Tag Team Champion. Beer Money would go on to feud with the likes of Team 3D, LAX, join the faction Fortune, and have one of their most famous feuds against the incredible Motor City Machine Guns, where they had a series of phenomenal matches for the titles. The team lasted 3 years until November 2011, when Storm won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship and Roode became the number 1 contender. Roode would later turn on Storm, hitting him with his own beer bottle and pinning him to capture the gold, thus ending a team with both men having won TNA's biggest prize. Number 7. Kane and X-Pac. So on paper, Kane and X-Pac sounds like a feud you'd expect to see in 1999, but the reality was they formed one of the best teams of the late 90s after both men were betrayed. Kane by Chyna and X-Pac by Triple H after WrestleMania 15, leading both men to come together. In their first match as a team, they defeated Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart for the tag team titles and had a rocky relationship of mistrust at the start. The team of X-Pac and Kane feuded with the likes of The Undertaker and Big Show, and being credited in helping make Kane feel more human to the audience, as well as add a little extra character to the big red machine that didn't involve The Undertaker. On the flip side, you could also argue it helped make X-Pac more reliable and more rejuvenated to an audience. Now eventually, of course, X-Pac rejoined DX and turned on Kane, leading to a series of matches between the two, and the start of a romance for Kane with Tori. But alas, ultimately Tori would backstab Kane and align with X-Pac. After nearly a year of storytelling, Kane and X-Pac's story came to an end at WrestleMania 2000. Not only did X-Pac and Kane make a great team, this year-long story was a highlight of 1999 into 2000 and did amazing things for both men. Truly underrated. Number 8, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. In a common wrestling thing, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit were embroiled in a bitter rivalry when they're forced to team together or be suspended for the SmackDown Tag Team Title Tournament. The same one mentioned during our Edge and Rey Mysterio section. So, while I won't repeat the details again, these two technical masters of the ring showcased amazing chemistry together, whether as partners or rivals. While the team didn't last long at all, the ending resulted in Kurt Angle winning the world title in December 2002, and then defending the belt against Chris Benoit in a phenomenal match at the 2003 Royal Rumble, and then later on the formation of Team Angle. Number 9, The Bar. The most modern of teams on this list, but it would be amiss to exclude them. Sheamus and Cesaro formed one of the greatest modern tag teams in recent history. Originally stuck in a 3-month-long feud with a best-of-7 series that ended in a tie, Raw GM Mick Foley forced both men to tag together, leading to a 3-year-long amazing tag team experience. Both men complemented each other well and would go on to have 5 tag team title reigns across SmackDown and Raw, while feuding with teams such as the New Day and the Usos. Sadly, the team came to its end when Sheamus suffered an injury and Cesaro was drafted to the opposite brand. And now with Cesaro in AEW as Claudio Castagnoli, we may never see a reunion of these two. Number 10, Owen Hart and Yokozuna. Now this spot could have gone to a number of different pairings, but I decided on Owen Hart and Yokozuna. This is most definitely a pairing that seems weird on the surface, due to Yokozuna and Bret Hart's rivalry for the world title. However, in 1995, Yokozuna was clearly slowing down and wasn't able to go as well as he once could. So how do you fix that? You put him with the amazing Owen Hart. Debuting at WrestleMania 11 as Owen Hart's mystery partner in a match for the tag team titles, which they would win to claim the titles on their first night, and joined by Jim Cornette as manager, the team held the belts twice between April and September 1995, in matches where Owen could be the workhorse and Yokozuna could do a few moves to protect himself. Now, while the matches themselves might not have been the greatest, this was just a really fun pairing that further showcased just how amazing Owen Hart was in the ring and helped get a little bit more out of Yokozuna into the tail end of his career. I really hope you guys have enjoyed our list here. This was 10 teams that were so makeshift from single stars but turned out amazing. If you have, please drop the video a like, it helps us tremendously. Let us know in the comments which other teams you'd put on here, which ones you agree with, disagree with, or what other lists you'd like to see us to do. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell so you know when we drop a video or a podcast or a booking video. And hopefully, we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.